There's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. I can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so she only could have escaped onto this side. We haven't seen her. And we need to get a manhunt underway now and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom. Wait, Edgeworth, have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous, why would I? The inner temple is like an island, there's no way to escape but to cross. No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. And you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check out on the situation? Listen, Edgeworth, I'm sure she's at the inner temple. A manhunt's not necessary. Right. Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall's sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Fortunately, the sacred cavern didn't cave in, but what we found was something none of us would have expected. What? How can there be more? Even more logs. What is the meaning of this? Hey Iris, how's it going? Iris? Iris, please tell me. What the hell's going on? Why do you put more on there? Oh, Jesus, I'm so confused! What the hell? Why? February 9th, Inner Temple Training Hall. Right, is this what Godot was talking about? Yeah, the trick logs. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me. What? During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. I know that there was only one lock when I last came here. So you're saying that you cannot undo the new locks? Yes. If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. I'll give one to talk. Your face all with your face all green. Miles Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip of yourself. Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly fine. There's no telling what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth. Thanks, Mom. Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Edgeworth. He's got some pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. So much pride. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Phoenix, right? I'm going to stay here and see if I can help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris? No, not at all. Why do you make a run for it, Iris? I'm sorry. Our inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried I just had to come and see. In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law, at least we're clear on that. I can't tell you how relieved I was when I saw the sacred cavern was alright, but what? When I saw those chains here, I saw these extra locks that someone put on the sacred cavern's door and... Who in the world would have done something like this? Who? When? That's the question. These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the Korean tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. That's why only the person who set the lock can open it. And you aren't the one who set these locks. I don't think it's that simple, Francisco von Karma. When we were here in the first time, there was only one lock. But now somehow there's 5 of them. What does that mean? It means that 4 people, someone set 4 extra ones for some reason. It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. That means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. What? Iris, try to think, please. Isn't there any way around this? Like I said, there are hundreds of different ways to set these locks. I suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them. But it'll take time, won't it? Yes, about a day if I had to guess. A whole day? Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can. We've got to wait another day. Hang in there, Maya. You're going to have to call on your inner strength now. Well, I mean, you could get lucky and your first guess is the right one. So, you know what, Iris? There's still the one thing I don't quite get. And what might that be, Phoenix, right? I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident. But you were seen at the same evening at the inner temple. And then, you're spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple too. Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the inner temple, it's as if you were... Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. 5? Only 3. That's surprising, actually. I know it. There's something going on here that we don't know about. Give me that look. Right now I don't have enough to go on. Let's go to the garden. Let's talk to Edgeworth. The cops are still coming to place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a rough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Hey, don't you dare run away. What do you want, right? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then go on and get on with it. Go on, laugh away. I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. Went back to the criminal affairs department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris. Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. What were you reminded of? You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden, huh? There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime. That's why. You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely you don't suspect. Maya, do you? Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect, Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school. Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense lawyer. We were deprived of oxygen, we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. And that case was finally resolved 3 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but... It was such a shock. I could never imagine. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, right? There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? There's something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her before somewhere. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the criminal affairs to look at her life? Or for her file? Yes, I checked over every case file I've ever worked on, and I was right. I had seen her face before 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. Who is she? I'm sorry, right? I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple, and neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated. Yes, I can say that without complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Do I have anything that can connect them? No. No profile. No evidence. Wait a second. Yeah. I'll have to find someone else to talk to. Gumshoe? I'm finally getting to the bottom of this case. I don't feel that way. I feel like we literally just opened it. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. I need to find her. It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. It sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all alone on your own. Speaking of alone, I guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again. Hopefully not, actually. I'd rather not deal with him. Heavenly Hall. Oh, Mr. Nick. Pearls, what are you doing here? Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Well, we don't know yet. Oh, I see. I can see Pearl putting on those locks. Very much possible. She doesn't probably have some knowledge of it. Hey, what do you do? What do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry. It's the loser shack. Where losers get along to get together to lose themselves. It's the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that? Look, Mr. Nick, Mr. Loris did a picture of me. That's great, Pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. Stay out of our way. I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? No one believes a word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down. Okay. Oh, Mystic Maya. Let's look at this little sketch. Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? I've got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. What am I going to do with him? Alright then. What do you think about this picture, Pearls? Ah, it's pretty. I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing. See, someone appreciates it. It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know? It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it. It's like a dream, a wonderful fantasy. No, it wasn't a dream. She really flew, I'm telling you. Iris really flew that night. But Mr. Loris... not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase, I beg of you. I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. But I was wide awake after the lightning struck. And I saw what I saw. It was exactly like I drew in this picture. It looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's with that look of doubt on your face? Pearls? Yes, Mr. Nick? I've been meaning to ask you about the night of murder. Where were you and what exactly were you doing when it happened? I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know. I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing. Does it, Mr. Nick? Sorry, Pearls, but yeah, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be with in Miss Elise's room, reading a book together. But Miss Elise was murdered and you, Pearls, were at the Inner Temple. So what exactly happened that night, Pearls? How many psych locks? I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. There you go. I've been a bad girl. God, it looks like it's gonna be 6. I know I'll be punished. What are you talking about, Pearls? My spiritual power, it's disappeared. What? What? Our powers have disappeared? What do you mean your powers have disappeared, Pearl? It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint. Hey, what are you looking at me for? I don't know, he seems fine. Pearls? Did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps? Way to go, Nick, you made her cry. That's what was really cruel of you. Just as I thought. I'm gonna have to break her psych locks to get the truth out of her. And I know I don't have enough for her right now. Let's see where else we can go. I wonder if Sister Bikini has gone back to the main hall already. I haven't seen Gumshoe around here in a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. I bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type. I think anyone is. Well, what's the damage? How is the Sacred Cavern? Looks like it survived. But we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the Sacred Cavern. But who could have done that? The only people who know how to set those trick locks are those of the Korean tradition. We have Iris at the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. What I could see it is, maybe Pearl channeled someone as well. And that's who ended up setting the locks outside the gate. Again. Because she probably did something like previously, and then she probably did it again today. We have Iris at the Sacred Cavern trying her best to open them up, us for now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you about, Sister Bikini. Oh yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yeah, you were telling me how the Master of the Korean disappeared 17 years ago. I want to know why Misty Face suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago when Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the master, she said, "Someone is trying to destroy the Korean tradition's main family line." Yeah, Pearl's mother. "I'm here to put a stop to them." Someone was trying to destroy the main family line. There's only one heir to the title of master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new master of Korean, and her daughter is the main family. All other mediums become branch family members, with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have and always will plot to erase those in the main family line. Is the power of a master worth this much bloodshed? Probably. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. A lot of power. You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power is real. I have seen its effects, so I can't really, deny it. Yes, I do. It's been 3 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. During the Master Mass case, and during Maggie Bird's trial, too. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. Hell yeah. The Korean technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. I mean, the ability to commune with the dead. That's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but... with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now. Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? Ha ha! You're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. Yeah, Misty's. A mistake? What mistake? It was 17 years ago, that's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. That incident? Is she talking about what I think she is? I'm sure the record still exists if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. Yeah, I was about to say the SL9 because, oh my god, so many times did I have to the last one with the L at the end of it. The DL6 incident, huh? The DL6 incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 3 years ago. Oh, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney on that case. Not 17 years ago, but recently. A murder that took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spear medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Faye, Maya's mother. Though Mystic Misty's channeling the name of a certain man through the Mystic Misty. Armed with that evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world had ever seen the Korean tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Korean village. Everyone judged her, everyone said Mystic Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. But I know the truth. Misty Faye's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we were finally making a comeback. The Korean tradition is starting to recover at last. But with the new master wielding the power of the clan, does she mean Maya? The spiritual power of the Korean channeling technique is in the blood. Maya has told me the exact same thing before. We, the women of the Fae family, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit the power. And all the men get, like, exiled out of the village. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Ami. But with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master. And the ones who don't become branch families, right? That's right, and it's always the cause of tragedy. You know, Maya had a sister too, an older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course, she became a lawyer in hopes of discovering what happened to her mother. And lost her life. Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right, Misty Faye had an elder sister too. You know, it kind of looks like Mia in a way. Especially with, like, the black and white, it looks a lot similar. And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the master seat from her. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Oh, yes. Morgan, there's a name I know well. It was a year ago now at Maya's home Korean village. What she did was terrible. It was all she could do to make her own daughter the next master. I wouldn't be surprised if she made a return. I suppose if you know... Well, she's in jail, though, so hopefully she's staying there. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter. What? Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter. Excuse me, there's no way she's biologically her daughter. Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Faye's daughter? She's gotta be adopted. There's no way biologically. Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already. I have, I know her well. She never mentioned she had more than one. Oh? Yeah, Pearl Faye. But I always thought she was an only child. You jest! That child, she's Mystic Morgan's. I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she? Yes, ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2. 2? What? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister, and Mystic Pearl. Dahlia. What? Twin sister? I could be chilling with twins? Didn't you know it all happened 20 years ago? After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that the Korean's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her in the village, taking their twin daughters with him. What? How awful. He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up to be looked after by us here at the temple. What? Oh my god! It's all coming together. Oh my god. And this is all real. Like, at first I was like, oh no, it's probably like not. No, this makes sense. A jeweler. That, oh my god. What? That it was Iris, you see. It's unbelievable. If Iris is a twin sister, it's Dahlia. She has to still be in prison. If she's not in prison, could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris's sister? I don't remember. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh? Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family. Anger to produce twins? What do you mean? Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband, but even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan. That's why she had pearls. It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. It was able to break free of the bars that confine her. So Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. I need to ask more questions and get some more info. Holy shit. Oh my god. Iris needs to open that fucking gate because I got a lot of shit to talk to her about.